Welcome to the Yo-11 podcast. Yo-11 podcast, mostly Vegas no BS casino experience and more. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into reality. How's it going, Michael?
I am absolutely feeling fantastical today.
Fantastical. That's the word of the day.
Fantastic. The word of the day is
fantastical. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's today's secret. I can't do a Pee-wee Herman impression anymore.
You usually are good with impressions.
I have not done a Pee-wee Herman impression in decades. I don't know, man. But that's today's secret word, apparently. It's fantastical.
Fantastical. Yes. Well, it's fantastical is now up there with my immersion, elevated experiences. What are the other ones? Immersive experiences. Yeah. Yes, that's all. It's now fantastical experiences.
Fantastical. We'll be getting to the reason why we're saying fantastical so much in just a moment, though. But it has to do with the Cromwell Rebrand that's going to be happening. But we do have a news story that we have to get out of the way first. So let's go ahead and get to the news and views. Flamingo Las Vegas is getting set to debut its revamped Go Pool just in time for the 2025 pool season. The $20 million renovation introduces a multi-pool complex spanning 1.5 acres featuring 5 pools, a 30-seat swim-up bar, and 33 VIP cabanas. The main pool includes a large swim-up bar under a canopy and water seating and a 50-foot wide waterfall with an adjoining grotto pool. A DJ booth atop the waterfall will provide entertainment daily. Surrounding the space are 55 palm trees and additional greenery transplanted from the original Go Pool. For those seeking a VIP experience, elevated pools will offer exclusive access to cabanas, in-water couches, and daybeds. Complimentary lounge chairs will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. The Go Pool will serve a menu of frozen daiquiris, signature mojitos, and poolside bites. The redesign, led by Pacific Custom Pools and MO+A Design Studio, blends Flamingo's retro deco architecture with a modern beach resort aesthetic. The project is part of Flamingo's ongoing transformation, which also includes new dining spots like Pinky's by Vanderpump, Gordon Ramsay Burger, and Havana 1957. And that's going to do it for the news. And now for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Well, another word for the day, Flamingo's retro deco architecture. Retro deco. It's not retro anymore. It's retro deco.
Yeah.
Is that like if you don't want to say art deco, it becomes retro deco?
I guess maybe that maybe. Well, what's cool about it is that I was able to find the opening date because a lot of the places, sources that talked about it didn't say what the opening date was. There's always a spring of 2025, but it didn't say what the opening date was. So I dug around the Flamingo schedule. Now, right now, only the family pool is open. That's the one that's open every day. The Go Pool, though, that whole complex, that opens April 11th. I literally went through their book a reservation day by day in their calendar. April 11th, everything was available. So I was like, April 11th. So April 11th is the opening day, projected right now by Caesars Entertainment.
That is cool. It sounds great. I mean, Flamingo's always been known for their pools, and you were quite a fan of Flamingo last time I checked.
The Dirty Bird. Can't go wrong with the Dirty Bird.
I have had many fond experiences at Flamingo. I also remember the Go Rooms when they were new, and they were quite fantastical.
They were fantastical, weren't they?
They actually were. No, I actually like playing baccarat sometimes in high limit at Flamingo. Though that is the smallest high limit table room in like Las Vegas. It's about like the size of my office. It's tiny.
Yeah.
But I sort of Flamingo's cool. I mean, it's okay. It's growing up. You know what? I'm just in a very positive Vegas vibe lately. I think too many people are being like a little negative on like, oh, I don't know, like too much negative Vegas stuff. And I'm just positive Vegas. And I think this is great. I think this pool's going to be terrific. Though, of course, my ultimate judging of a pool is their plastic glassware.
Now I have to ask, don't all pools have plastic glassware or
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like disposable plastic, but like nice plastic. You know,
okay.
when you have like nice wine glasses and glasses that are plastic that aren't like, you know, like nice poolware.
What kind of poolware, I have to ask now, does Win have?
You know, I was just thinking that. You know, it only took us, what is that, 8 minutes and 62 seconds until we mentioned Wynn Las Vegas. But they have very nice serviceware at the Wynn Tower Suites pool, which is one of my favorite pools. But this is exciting. I think this retro deco is going to be good, and of course Flamingo's ongoing transformation. So I think Flamingo, that basically you have a 50-50 chance of any venue you go to is either going to be a Vanderpump venue or a Gordon Ramsay venue. That's pretty much so what you're going to wind up at Caesars.
That's what I'm starting to
Or
think, man.
so that's what I'm thinking. But I think it's good. I wonder what. I don't think people have been talking about room renovations. Have they been talking about room renovations at Caesars? They've got to do something with those go rooms.
I know Cinnamon Girl put a video recently of the Go Room. I haven't watched it yet because I haven't been watching a lot of Vegas vlogs, but I'll check it out. I don't know if they should do something with the Go Rooms. Maybe they'll call them retro deco rooms or something.
Well,
They
they
need to
should.
do
I
something.
think that actually, I think the Go name was always pretty good. I just think the rooms, like the electronic drapes, aren't working anymore. The TVs in the
TV in the
bathrooms aren't
mirror,
working
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
The TV in the mirror in the bathroom isn't working anymore.
The mood
The
lighting,
stereo is, yeah. I mean, the stereo is woefully outdated and
if it's still
probably not
there.
working
Sometimes
anymore
it's not even
if it's
there.
still there. The light bulbs don't match. You know, they used to have really cool bulbs. It's just like sort of sad, you
Yeah.
know, that they need to step it up with that kind of thing. I mean, the only major change that they've done is that they no longer have smoking go rooms.
Oh, that's why you vape. Because if you vape, no one knows. It doesn't smell like
Well,
cigarettes. It does anyway, I'll get off of that. All right.
anyway, but that's the only major change I had, and I think Caesars did that. Though I've got to imagine those prior smoking rooms, because they only Caesars only went pretty much so 100% non-smoking rooms in their properties about 2 years ago, I think it is right now. Though they still have some smoking rooms at Paris, some suites, and Caesars still has some. But anyway, they need to do that. Anyway, I think this is good. This is positive. Another Vegas pool thing. You know, on the pool news, and we've got to give credit to uh, Vegas fanboy Adam. He always does a lot of investigation on cabanas.
Yeah.
And he was checking out Fontainebleau. Fontainebleau. Are we just calling it Fontainebleau now? Are we like over it? Like the pronunciation?
I guess so. I could
Are we
call
just
it
done? Are we just done with it? It's just Fontainebleau.
Fountain Blue.
Anyway, at Fontainebleau, the cabana prices are not bad, but the cabana prices are just food and beverage. So instead of, usually you have a situation where you have to pay a certain amount for the cabana and then you have a food and beverage minimum that you need to meet. But they have cabanas there that seem pretty nice for, I think it was, I mean, it's variable pricing, or they call it dynamic pricing, but as low as $500. And that's just food and beverage. So it's just your food and beverage expense, no charge for the cabana. So that's something to definitely check on. And Adam does a great job. I think he said he was dropping an article about the pool. Like he always does this overview of pool cabanas, but that is a huge differentiation, because when you do a pool cabana, unless you're getting comped by the casino, which is another story, but if you're paying your hard-earned cash, it's best to do a cabana where there's just a food and beverage minimum and all you pay is the food and beverage minimum, and you don't also have to pay another charge for the cabana. So that's something to keep in mind. But I didn't know that. So maybe I'm planning my next Vegas trip Memorial Day, and maybe I'll do a cabana. You don't like cabanas, though. You don't like being out at the pool. Am I correct about that, or did I dream that?
No, you didn't dream that. I'm not a pool dude. I'm not a, I'm just
You're not
not a
a
pool
pool
guy.
dude?
No, I'm not a pool guy.
Really?
I don't care for the pool.
That's
Yeah.
sad.
How so?
Even
Why is that?
cabanas?
Why is that sad? Why is me not being into pools a sad thing? Why is the nation
I don't
mourning?
know.
because I'm not into pools.
It's not. I know, but it's nice, like being in a cabana with a cigar. That's one of the nice things about Wynn. You can their pools are completely cigar friendly.
Yeah, I just
Something
never
to
been
keep
into
in mind.
the pool scene really. I don't know. I would consider it at a place like Stadium Swim maybe, because if you have to, I mean, you might as well be at Stadium Swim because you have that huge screen and all that, and lots of bars around and everything. I don't know. I just never been like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go to the. I've just never been about the pool. I don't know.
You see, my whole pool scene is sitting in a cabana with a cigar with Frank Sinatra playing in the background. That's all I really want.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool, actually. That sounds pretty chill.
Yeah. So, yeah, with misters. You need misters.
Got to have the misters, right? Right.
Always got to have the misters. Always. Yeah. Well, I think the true thing is that pools are a little bit overrated sometimes because it's so darn warm in Vegas. But that's another topic. So anyway, but we have something else to ponder today, don't we?
We sure do.
I think we're pondering so many. We're pondering so many fantastical things. But what are we pondering now?
Today we are pondering. Well, let's get on to the, what are we calling it? The podcast
ponder.
Podcast ponder.
So I do have some very exciting news. Holding it, it's been so difficult. I mean, I've seen my name in a lot of places, banners on television shows, but this is something totally different. I think this is a restaurateur's dream. It's iconic.
I want to create beauty everywhere I go.
We dream together and we dream big. And I think often our places are somewhat fantastical. It doesn't get any better than that.
And so we are thrilled to announce
The Vanderpump Hotel coming 2026. So I do have...
All right, there it is. Vanderpump Hotel coming 2026. Fantastical.
AKA it's fantastical, AKA the Vander Hotel. Because Caesars Entertainment and Lisa Vanderpump are partnering once again. Oh my God, what a surprise. But this time to bring bold, new brand and an original concept to the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. The Cromwell, a standalone boutique hotel on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo Road, will undergo a complete renovation and transition into a first of its kind destination. You know, I often really wish in these press releases they'd put an asterisk and explain what first of its kind destination means. The Vanderpump Hotel, early 2026.
So what's cool about it is they're going to be renovating all of the rooms. They're renovating the entire casino area. They're renovating everything around it.
It says complete. It says a complete renovation. So, of course, though, Caesars has a different dictionary for the word complete sometimes. So we will see. Or complete until... No, it sounds like they're going to be doing that, which is actually cool because those rooms have been getting a little bit dated at Cromwell. And they've got some interesting rooms there and some interesting layouts. So that'll be pretty cool, I think. But there's going to be a... In case people don't remember, Vanderpump Hotel marks the television star and entrepreneur's first foray into hotels and follows the success of her many ventures in wine, spirits, and restaurants and lounges, including, but not limited to, Vanderpump Cocktail Garden at Caesars Palace, which was the original, which I loved, Vanderpump à Paris at Paris, Las Vegas, Wolf by Vanderpump at Harvey's Lake Tahoe. I did not know about that one, and I'm planning to go to Tahoe after my Vegas trip. And most recently, Pinkies by Vanderpump at Flamingo, Las Vegas. They're also saying that as a hotel, there'll be an emphasis on, wait for it, sexy elegance and comfort, with gorgeous rooms and fresh new feel on the casino floor. Vanderpump will also hand select the amenities for hotel guests. So this is pretty interesting. I don't know what sexy elegance means though. It seems very W Hotel to me. What's sexy elegance? Yeah, it's kind of like, is it Is it a room that makes you think of sex when you enter it?
Does
Or
it
is it
have
sexual?
like a love swing? Like what does it got?
Oh, yeah, maybe. It is sort of W. It's sort of old W, not new W, because W's been changing. That's another interesting thing. And the property currently has Giada and Bound Lobby Bar, Interlude Casino Lounge, Dre's Nightclub, and Beach Club and Nightclub, and their after hours, and they have a Caesars Sportsbook. And additional details will be announced as the project evolves. That's speak for we're really not sure exactly what we're doing, but it's evolving. And Cromwell will continue to operate during its transformation to the Vanderpump Hotel, which is set to be complete for early 2026. And you can keep an eye on it because you can always go to Caesars.com/the Vanderpump Hotel. So this is big news, which I think just broke today,
Yep.
right? I mean, this is like, so I think this is great? Yeah, I think it's great. I sort of like the Vanderpump brand. I like anything that's called sexy elegance. I'm not sure. Fantastical sexy elegance. I like it. That's fine. I don't know what it means, but I really like it. So I'm cool with it.
I'm trying to figure out what that is as well. Sexy elegance and your hotel room.
I want to know about their room service. Will they do a really cool room service thing? They talk about amenities. They better do good glass.
Maybe it'll be sexy room service, whatever that means.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. Immersive stripper poles. Who knows what they have in store?
There are rooms with stripper poles, aren't there?
Vanderpump.
I haven't thought about
we
that.
put the pump in Vanderpump. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's it could be anything.
Anyway, it's cool. It's great. I think this is good. I love Vegas change. So you've got a lot going on. Caesars is really leaning into a lot of this stuff because most recently they've done all of this work at Caesars Palace, which I actually think is great. I think the vibe now at Caesars Palace is way better than it was before. And I'm a little sweet on the Nobu Hotel and Jack the Nobu Butler, of course.
Jack the Nobu Butler. What I'm curious is how come like Chef Nobu has a hotel within a hotel at Caesars. Vanderpump has a bunch of restaurants and places throughout their properties. Now she gets her own like hotel. How come they haven't given one to like Gordon Ramsay? He's pretty much as part of every Caesars property as Vanderpump is, and it's just like, why is there not a Gordon Ramsay hotel? Well, he's known for great food, but he's also known for judging food. So maybe the thought of, will people like the idea of staying at a Gordon Ramsay hotel? Because will he just magically show up into your room and just like start criticizing hotel room activity? Like, what are you doing? Your technique is off. Like, what could possibly? So maybe that's why. Maybe they did a test audience with that. I don't know, but Vanderpump.
Well, you know what? They could do great room service though if they leaned into the idea of doing like Gordon Ramsay, like Hell's Kitchen room service kind of theme thing. That would be really cool. I mean, hotels have had tie-ins like Daniel Boulud. That's another name that I love. They used to at Bar Boulud in Boston at the Mandarin Oriental used to handle the room service for the Mandarin Oriental. There is no longer a Boulud in Boston as far as I know. But I think that could be cool. I would think with Gordon Ramsay though, would definitely be very food and beverage oriented. I think one of the problems might be for Gordon Ramsay is this thing with Caesars. He's always like into like when you watch Hell's Kitchen, standards. We need to keep the standards. Everything has to be really great. Well, sometimes Caesars isn't so great with the standards thing in the hotel rooms. So they would have to make sure those standards are there because a lot of luxury hotels do great standards. I mean, first thing that comes to mind is properties like Wynn Tower Suites or Four Seasons Las Vegas, really, really good standards. So we'll see. Or maybe Gordon will just get jealous that Lisa Vanderpump is getting a hotel. I think it's pretty cool. It's cool for her. I mean, I think it's a neat idea. It's something different. It's sort of smart. So we'll see. And I don't even know, what does Cromwell mean? Was that just a made up name? Like, does Cromwell relate to anything?
I have no idea, man. I remember when I started going there, it was Bill's Gambling Hall, which is not very upscale sounding at all. It was just welcome to Bill's Gambling Hall, and then became the
For
Cromwell.
Bill Hara.
Yeah, then became the Cromwell. Which sounds more like the Cromwell. It sounds a bit smug, and it was that.
Yeah, I'm not
boutique
sure.
hotel, so-
Anybody out there who knows what the genesis of Cromwell was, I'd be curious to know, because I have no idea. But I always liked it. I liked the vibe there. I liked the gambling there. They used to have 100 times odds at craps. They used to have like really, really some of the best gambling on the Strip. That is no longer the case. But we will see where things go. But good stuff. All good stuff.
Before it was Bill's Gambling Hall, it was Barbary Coast.
Yes, that's right.
So-
It was Barbary Coast, Bill's.
Yeah, that little property has gone through a lot of name changes over the years.
Yeah, well, that's we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. It's sort of interesting. You always sometimes refer to the property by the older name. Like, we'll probably still be calling it Cromwell for about 10 years.
Oh yeah, yeah, but not as long as we've been calling. Not as long as we've been calling Fontainebleau. So
Yeah, or Mirage Rock. That's going to be a hard
Mirage. That's going to be a hard one to transition from. That really is going to be horrible. We'll get through it somehow.
Yeah,
All right.
we will.
Are we ready for the tease?
We are.
Let's get to the tease.
So today I was talking about why you should work with a travel advisor, maybe, and trip planning and things like that. One thing I like to always interject, that it's great if you decide to work with a travel advisor. It's wonderful to find that is a personality that works well with you. And I'll just leave it at that. There are lots of different wonderful travel advisors out there. But I started off with a slide, which is travel planning. Because why do most people go to travel advisors? Because they don't want to deal with all the travel planning. So travel planning is fun, maybe. So things you should always keep in mind with regard to travel. And these are just a couple of things off the top of my head. Pretty much so, most of the content that I create is off the top of my head. That's what I do. I don't really care what other people do, because I sort of like to bring you opinions based on my kind of experience. And first thing that's a really important thing is there are multiple right answers to most travel questions. That should seem pretty obvious, but for some reason, some people get very set on their opinions. For sure, we know that with regard to Vegas hotels. Compare things out there, do searches, use AI tools, but always question, always confirm and verify. Confirm and verify is very important, especially because a lot of AI tool stuff is slightly outdated or doesn't truly understand everything that it should understand at this point. Maybe by next year, different. Try to focus on the direct sites. For example, if you find a hotel you love, look at the hotel's direct website, as opposed to looking at, trying to look at more granular information on Expedia or another travel consolidator site. Read reviews. I think reading reviews is good, but also understand that what most people share are negative comments, or more so, they share negative comments than positive. So just be aware of that reviews tend to trend towards the negative more so than the positive. Look at the address of a hotel that you're planning to go to on a map to orient yourself while you're doing your research. Remember, your location is important. No matter what anybody says, location is important. Don't get caught up with things like the best, because best is a really dangerous word, and best is different for everyone. Once again, location almost always wins, but you need to also define what is the location you want. That can happen to do with the purpose of the trip, touring goals, things like that. Then moving away more from hotels and touring to flights, use Google Flights to compare options. That's a really great place to start. Understand connecting airports, the pros and cons of connecting versus nonstop. Understand the planes you are flying, especially on long haul flights, because seats in economy class have a huge deviation. Premium economy and business class especially is a little bit better. I'd like to be able to say that there's no such thing as a bad business class seat, but there is still some variation on planes. But economy class is when it makes all the difference, because you've got seats with extra leg room, you've got really good exit rows, you have seats which are categorized the same way as an exit row or extra leg room, where there are some on the plane that are better. So you need to research this kind of stuff. Always download the airline app and access your flight on the app. It gives you the most up-to-date information, and it's the best way to track things. Also, if there are flight changes, upgrade offers, all kinds of things, you need to get on the apps. One thing I always tell people is keep copies of all important documents in a secure service on a cloud like Google Docs. You should always have access to all of your documents, like your passports and identifications and things like that, in some kind of secure environment. Understand refundable, non-refundable, pros and cons. If I had a dollar for every time someone said, "Oh, I don't care," I'm going to purchase a non-refundable, and then they have a family emergency, which then brings you into understanding travel insurance. For a lot of people, an annual policy makes sense, but also understanding your credit card travel insurance rules and policies, and also understanding if you don't take travel insurance, what is your risk? If you're booking fully non-refundable things, your risk is different than if you're booking refundable hotels and something happens at the last minute and you can still cancel the reservation. Airfare you can usually voucher and use at a future date. So you've got to understand all that kind of stuff. You should create one document with all of your confirmation numbers and important notes. You should also have important addresses in the cloud for your trip, but also on a piece of paper, because it's great to have a piece of paper to be able to hand a driver, a concierge, a person, especially if you're not in an English-speaking country, for someone to bring you back to where you need to go. It makes your life way easier. So I do like to have a few things on paper, like addresses and stuff, and checklists. This is one of my big deals, and I do this in electronic notepads. You should have a checklist for every time you check out of a hotel, and that checklist should include things like making sure you empty the safe, confirming drawers are empty, taking your chargers, also confirming any of the things that you need to confirm on your hotel folio, like if you've got $100 credit, if breakfast was supposed to be included. You should always have checklists. Checklists will prevent you from leaving crap in hotel rooms. It's really good. It's a great mental exercise, and it's also really good when you're running late or you're under the gun, like when you get stuck at a craps table and you need to run up and pack quickly. It's good to have a checklist of all the things you remember, because then you won't forget things. How does that sound, Movestro? How's that for a travel planning kind of, idea, encapsulating a bunch of ideas there? Anything there hit you?
I like the idea of the checklists and having the important documents in the cloud, because you never know what might happen. Some stuff you don't want to carry physical copies on you, because you don't want that. But yeah, I'm really liking that. This is a lot of good ideas here.
Yeah, so it's broad things. And then we talk about what are we? TravelZork Travel, which is the travel booking, travel advisory arm of TravelZork, is a full-service travel advisory, and we love helping our clients make their travel dreams a reality, and we want to make it a fantastical reality. And really quickly, one of the number one reasons why people use travel advisors is we can get you access to luxury benefits like upgrades, free breakfasts, property credits, VIP status, often at the same price, sometimes even lower than what the regular rates are. This is a really big deal, especially with people who don't fly a lot and don't have elite status or hate dealing with the airlines. We are literally your insurance policy for airline bookings with 24/7 support. But the main thing is you never have to speak to the airline. You get to scream at us. We love coming up with interesting ideas for curating trips and also coordinating those things. Sometimes we do part of it. Sometimes the clients want to do part of it. So that's another thing that travel advisors love doing. We're researching that for you. We're basing it on our former trips. A lot of this also, once again, has to do with what you like to do. I know a lot of people who love to spend countless hours searching for airfare, planning their trip. So sometimes they'll just go to a travel advisor to have them book a luxury hotel with benefits. And all of that stuff is on TravelZork.travel website, especially a lot of the benefits at a lot of hotels, especially in Vegas. And of course, we advocate for you upgrades, perks, issues. You're not left alone. You've got somebody else to fight it out with the hotel. But of course, different travel advisors have different service standards. So you need to find someone who works for you. And there's also, there's not a lot you're going to be able to do with a hotel that's $100 a night. I mean, if you can find a hotel that's $100 a night. So there are times where it does make sense to definitely on the higher end use a travel advisor. But sometimes on the lower end, sometimes there isn't going to be enough of a differentiation at a Hampton Inn in Nebraska that, sometimes, just finding the best, lowest price. Just do remember all the time, you should always fall back on booking hotels direct if you can, either with a travel advisor, which is direct bookings in most cases, or booking them directly. Your second option for like hotels.com and Expedia and third party, that should always be the second option for you, because it's always better to have a direct booking. Hotels treat you better when you have a direct booking. You have more flexibility most of the time when you have a direct booking. And I just think it's a better way to go. On the casino side, it's really important to have a direct booking, because if you gamble a lot and you need the casino to take over your reservation and potentially comp your stay, that can't be done if you booked it on Expedia. So that's really important to keep in mind.
All right, cool. Covered a lot there. Before we get going, is there anything on your mind or any thoughts you want to share?
No, not a lot. I mean, I think this was fun. I love talking about travel. So anyone questions, send them on Twitter. Send us at tips@travelzork.com. Also, please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, and get your friends to subscribe and share our videos. Give us an Apple Podcast review, preferably not 1 star. And any of that really helps us a lot. And it's really helpful, because the more people that we can share information with, the better. Also, ZorkFest news is coming soon, but the biggest announcement for ZorkFest is that Podcasters After Dark is going to actually be 360 Vegas Podcasters After Dark. Though we don't exactly know what we're doing. It is going to be on the Saturday night. And if you go to zorkfest.com, you'll see the dates and everything. We have not announced the property, but we're really close. And it looks like we're going to have 2 private craps tables for coffee dice this year. Yay! And also a private baccarat table. We're going to have real tables for labs. We're also going to be doing miles and points labs. So lots of great stuff about ZorkFest. I didn't even think I was going to bring that up today, but keep on it. You will hear a lot. But of course, the most up-to-date information on ZorkFest is always at zorkfest.com. And that will bring you to the ZorkFest website.
All right, and that's going to do it for this episode. Luxury travel booking, travelzork.travel. Visit us at travelzork.travel to plan your next amazing vacation, not just to Las Vegas, but anywhere in the world. And be sure to join the conversation on social media. You can find us easily. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.